Welcome to Off the Pitch. On this episode, I took a trip to the Welsh capital and to Cardiff Met University. Seren Singleton speaks to me about the difficulties in juggling her PGC as well as a prospering rugby career. The Archer discusses all things Celtic Challenge, Wales Under-20s, as well as the Archer's aims for the season. Okay, Seren, we're here, we're at King Coed, and I think first of all, just talk to us about your experience at Cardiff Met University.
Yeah, so I graduated from my undergrad in the summer just gone. I did PE, and now this year I've enrolled on a PGC primary course.
Bit full on.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing this year. So yeah, I'm quite flat out.
Flat out. Yeah. And what is it like when you join Cardiff Met? You come to this university obviously to do PE, and you join the women's rugby team. What was that like? Is rugby something that's always been around for you, or?
No, not really. So before coming to uni, I previously played rugby for a year.
Okay.
I came to uni and it was either going to play netball or rugby, and I thought I'll choose one. So I chose rugby.
Made the right choice?
Yeah, and since then I've just had so many opportunities, and I've had such a great experience here in Met.
I think, so what is that like? You come down, you've played for a year, and you come down to your first training session.
Yeah.
What's that experience like?
I think for me in first year it was really difficult because there wasn't as many Welsh girls, believe it or not, in Met. I think I was one of like two.
Oh.
So it was a lot of English girls, some girls from overseas. So I think I knew like one person. So yeah, it was quite hard to, it was intimidating and to fit in, but all the girls were so welcoming, and yeah, from then on I just thrived in the environment.
And you briefly mentioned about the opportunities that you've had through playing rugby.
Yeah.
Celtic Challenge last year.
Yeah.
Talk to us a bit about that. Like, obviously that happened through March, so through the university semester.
Yeah.
How supportive were Met, and what was that experience like?
Yeah, no, I think, well, it was great to have so many girls firstly involved in the Celtic Challenge from Met. So, we all had experience playing together. And then obviously for training and stuff, like we could all share lifts. And it was a really easy environment to settle in because we knew so many girls, and I think then with obviously you had some of the Welsh girls involved with it just kind of made the environment a lot more settling for the girls because they knew people, and
just a lot more welcoming.
Welcoming.
Obviously you were in and amongst the Bristol Bears throughout the PW Up series. Just sort of give us a taste of what that was like.
Yeah, I think, well, I obviously played the Under-20 Six Nations. From that then I had a phone call with Dave, who was the Bristol Bears head coach, and he was basically like really impressed, and we'd like you to come down and do some pre-season with Bears and all that. But I was doing pre-season with the seniors at the time, so I missed out on that pre-season with Bears. But then eventually I did end up going up to a few training sessions and played like a friendly. But it was tough for me now because obviously my PGC, the commitments for training and travelling and everything was a lot. So that's kind of on hold at the moment.
On hold at the moment.
But
I think that that sings to the point of that you are a university student.
Yeah.
And there are these challenges that you'll always face, and there'll always be that barrier of PGC one side, Bears calling your name the other side, and that line of which way to take.
Yeah, but I think being in the environment and in the setup and training with girls, they're obviously like Amber Reid and players like that, you can just learn so much from being in that environment. So it's a great experience.
What's it like going from a session at King Coed to a session at Bristol Bears?
I mean, yeah, it's so different. One, I don't really know many of the girls.
Yeah.
And then obviously a lot of the girls are 20s England girls, so it's like you obviously have that rivalry with them. And then you turn up and you have to train with them. But at the end of the day, we're all there to get better. So
yeah. And you
support each other.
Mentioned there about obviously rivalries with England. Under-20 Six Nations was a success for yourself, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're not bad.
Not bad. Talk to me about Italy and talk to me about that summer. It must have been like, as a Welsh girl playing for Wales, like what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, every time you put on that Welsh shirt, whether it's 7s or 20s or anything, it's always such a special moment. But I think with the pathway and the way it's developing, like the Welsh game is just growing so much. So I think, you know, it was a great experience to be a part of the first ever under-20s Six Nations tournament. Yeah, it was great.
And what are your aspirations with Wales? Like, have you still got, obviously you talk about how busy you are, is there still a fire burning to go on and do more with Wales?
Yeah, obviously, of course, if I get that opportunity again, then yeah, it's something that I would love to do. But at the moment, it's more
career head is on.
Focus on my teaching degree, and then
We'll
when
see what
that's
comes.
done, I can
If
see what
opportunities
happens.
arise, they do. And I think on that, we've obviously you've got that Cardiff Met shirt on at the moment. What are your team goals as a team? What does success look like come February, April, May, March next year?
I think for us, finishing 4th and maybe a home semi-final would be the best outcome for us. Yeah, so I think that's our biggest goal now, is to just focus on getting that.
And personally, you've hit 2 WNL Team of the Seasons.
Yeah.
Are we looking at a third? You sit down at the end of the year, you finished your PGC and you're looking at your rugby season. What does Seren think is a successful season?
I mean, I never expect to win it these last 2 years, like I didn't. But I mean, it'd be great if I did win it again, but it's not something that I ever think about. I always put the team first, and you know, we always want to win. But yeah, if that happens, it happens. But
Do you set yourself any, like, do you have any goals for the season? Like personal goals?
For me, it's just constantly just developing as a player
up.
and stepping up to that next
Making
level.
sure this year is always better than last year.
Yeah.
And moving forward. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. And we hope to see you either in a classroom or on a rugby field sometime soon.
Yeah.